I'm back, back with you, as I said, now with the 4ER, the 4ER meta. Opened that up just a moment ago, done some upgrades, played a little bit, managed to get up as far as building health. Let me show you the tech tree to start with. So nothing's really changed from last night, or from yesterday, when I did the earlier vid. Except I've opened the 4th ER, I've opened Scorchers, opened Critters, opened Artillery. Those are the three that I opened immediately. Upgraded Artillery to tick 3, so I've now got Barrage Max, Artillery tick 3. That's important. I've also got the Max GBE node, and I've maxed the gunboat out, so I've got as much GBE as I can. I've got Max Barrage, and I've got tick 3 Artillery. So I went and did a few battles that pulled me up to level 17, which gave me the ability to get building health on here. But I want to just go back first of all and talk about 4ER without building health, because there is quite a difference between the two metas. So first of all, 4ER without building health looks like this. This is my attack. It wasn't the most efficient. If I remember rightly, .328. That's not a bad time, but the way I played it, I kind of messed up the way that I played it out. So let's go through that, and I'll kind of talk you through what I've done and why. So first thing I do is land the troops, because obviously getting the troops up the ramp takes time, and that in that time you can be barting out things. So you want to be getting that down first of all. So the first thing I did was land the troops and get them coming up the ramp. Then I'll come over to this ER and start barting. Now it takes 2 barrage, 1 artillery to take down an 4ER without building health. There's 2 barrage and 1 artillery to take down an ER without building health. So that's 2 barrage on that one, 1 barrage on that one. The reason I do 2 barrage there and 1 barrage on that one is it gives me the ability to have enough GBE left over to do stuff at this end. When I say do stuff, I mean kind of get this first ER flared so that they rush straight to that, flare the second ER, get them onto that, and then I can come back and concentrate back down here, deliver the second barrage to 1 ER, deliver the artillery to the 2, get them gone, and everything should kind of go pop around about the same sort of time. The reason that this hit wasn't quite as efficient as it could have been is in the transition between these 2 ERs. So as you see, they come in, they start attacking this one, but I'm late on getting this flare out, so they're wasting a lot of time just firing at defences before they make the transition. You really kind of want to make that transition as quickly as possible so that the flare is landing on the second ER as the first ER is popping. And that principally is the meta at 4ER without building health. The way to combat that really is to spread your base as wide as possible. Now my layout was for 4ER no building health was something like this. The reason that I've got one end that whichever end they'd attacked from they would have killed, but this end is going to cost them a lot more troops than this end. Warrior rush, heavy rush, whatever sort of rush you put on that, you're always going to get both ERs. A warrior rush down here probably would have fizzled because of all the mines. A heavy rush wouldn't have fizzled, but by the time they get to the second ER, whether it be this one or this one, they would have had a lot less troops coming for this one than they would have done for this one. As you can see, they're attacking up this end with 4 boats of warriors and 4 boats of heavies. They're going to BART out this ER they're going to rush these two and then rush on to the third one with a little bit of BART as well. That to me suggests that they don't have max barrage, otherwise they would have just BARTed 2 ERs out, as I don't have building health at this point. They're just going to watch their attack out. There goes that first ER with the BART. It might be that they've obviously saved a bit of GBE for the shocks, for the smoke, to protect the warriors, which kind of says to me, why not just go with heavies? Just go with all heavies, and then you've got enough GBE to take the 2 ERs out. But yeah, principally that is it for your meta at 4 ER with no building health statue. Once you've got the building health statue, which I picked up after a little while last night, about that, a little bit of a coughing fit, a little bit of a sneezing fit. Anyway, I'm back. So yeah, the 4 ER meta with building health is slightly different, mostly because the BART requirements to take engine rooms down change. Now, my log on here, this one I think was one with building health. So again, we do the same again. We get the troops down and get the timer going, and we get the first ER BARTed. Now this time it takes 3 barrage and an artillery to take down an engine room. It's 3 barrage and 1 artillery to take down an engine room. Now obviously that then leaves you a lot less GBE to play with to be able to BART out this engine room here. So you've got 2 choices. You either go heavy Zookas or warrior and look to clear as much defences as you can in order to collect the GBE to give you enough to put the BART down on that ER, which isn't as efficient time-wise as rushing all 3 engines. Now, I prefer heavy rush than warrior rush, mostly because I opened the heavies on the way through at the beginning and I haven't opened the warriors yet, and I don't want to spend the keys and tokens on upgrading them. But secondly, because kind of warriors don't need quite as much babysitting as, sorry, heavies don't need quite as much babysitting as warriors. Warriors need smoke, they need flares, they need shocks, they need med kits. It's a lot more sort of fiddling around to get them from engine room to engine room safely. Heavies, you only just have to worry about getting the flare timings right so that as they take down one engine room you can flare on to the next, which is what I got wrong on this one. See, sort of a second and a half, couple of seconds there. Nonetheless, so we now got 2 engine rooms down, which gives me a little bit of GBE to play, so I can dump some GBE onto that final engine room there, and again just dumping all the GBE that I've got onto that engine room so that when the heavies finally get there they've got as little work to do as possible, and then boom, that's that base down. But if we take a look, that gave me, I think, a time of 3:15. I probably could have got that in about 3:20 if I was a little bit more efficient with my flares, so that the warriors weren't standing around and just shooting aimlessly at defences. Let's just take a look at his hit. Now you'll see he's gone full warriors, and I hadn't changed my base at this point. That was the reason I lost that, because I haven't changed my layout at this point. I go over that very shortly. So he was able to BART out that one, drop critters on this one at the back here, and I say I've got 1 sniper tower covering it, so he's able to take that out whilst the warriors are dropping all of the defences here. That was a little bit daft on my part, but that's my bad. So I need to set up a new layout with regards to building health. having engine rooms and building health. Now, what I've sort of discovered, the most efficient way to do this is to pair your engine rooms up fairly close to one another, something like this, and then lay your defences in and around those engine rooms. I came up across a couple of bases like that last night on my other account, and this sort of thing seemed to be the longest winded, mainly because the attack requires you to take out 3 ERs with troops. When you don't have a base full of defences, there's no sniper towers, there's no mortars, there's no flamethrowers, so there's not that much GBE to actually be had on my base. So an HZ rush isn't going to return you enough GBE to be able to bark these two out. When you lay down your base, it's important to remember not to put defences around like that, because 2 barrage, 3 barrage and an artillery on there well placed will not only take the engine room out, but it will take those 3 machine guns out, and that's giving your opponent 9 GBE for free. If you spread those out a little bit, just like this, they're still going to bark the engine room, but they're not going to take out the defences. They're not going to get that free GBE, and at this sort of stage, that free GBE could be the difference between having enough barrage to kill the second ER and not. So try not to do that when you're laying your base, when you're designing your base, clumping too many defences around the ER. Nobody's going to waste barrage on or artillery on taking defences out just for GBE. That's something reserved for crab and the little power cells there on the crab side of things. But when you've got defences clustered around an engine room, then that's kind of a nice little bonus that you can pick up. So just very quickly, the sort of thing that I'd be laying up here would be sort of just a run of cannons down here, something like this. Spread them out just a little bit, and then probably drop a sniper, drop 2 snipers, maybe 3 sniper towers, mix those in with this. We'll take a cannon and a sniper down the other end. So we've got 2 snipers, 2 cannons. It's not going to defend your base. It's not going to deter them from attacking. It's not really, it's really not going to. It's about slowing them down. What I'd then be doing at this end is to look to put as many mines as I can down through the transition area, so that when they transition from one ER to the other, there's as many casualties as possible. On the walk from one ER to the other, sort of kept them fairly well stashed behind buildings there. So what you'd be expecting here at this end is the troops to be landed, troops to be rushed. They'll come and take this one out fairly quickly. They'll then move on round to this one, losing a number of troops here between the mines, over the mines, between the cannons and the sniper towers, losing a few there, and then the final part of the rush will be for them to transition down to this engine room to finish this engine room off, because it won't get barted. This engine room will get barted out. So down this end here, what I'd probably look at doing would be to be dropping the damage amp in somewhere around there, a ring of machine guns, something like this. We can pop that machine gun up the other end. What I might do with that is throw that one in there. That's going to force them then to, because they'll be coming after this So yeah, we'll just pop that machine gun in. I'll tell you what we'll do with that. We'll pop him in there. That means he's covering a little bit of both with that. Pop him in there, yeah. So pop the machine gun in there. That means when the heavies are all stood firing at this ER, they're going to come under fire from the machine gun. When they're stood firing at this ER, they're also going to come under fire from that machine gun as well. And then this cannon, I may well take down the other end. So the cannons will drop into the ring here, along with the sniper tower. Again, like I said, it's not gonna stop anything. It's not gonna defend anything. You're not gonna kill all the troops with that defect, but it's about slowing them down. Now, with my mines, I've seen people having scattered mines. What I have chosen to do with my mines on this particular layout is to spread them across this top area here. Now, the reason that I do this, let's drop the iPad. The reason that I do this is that the split flare, that is to say, what people will do will be to load warriors and land their warriors and then flare them to the top of the map, sort of somewhere in the region of where this flare is, where this mine is right now. What that will do is when the warriors get up there, they will naturally split, and 50% will come this way, 50% will come that way. Then you can kind of medkit them, you can shock and smoke them to their destination, to try and kind of get that efficient kill. So what I'm doing here, the reason for me doing this here, is to try and deter people from doing that. What am I doing? So that's right, that one wants to go there, that one comes there. I can't have too many more to go down. That one there, and then we'll pop that one up that end there. So now what happens? Now what will happen? That just negates the flare drop. Anybody trying to do the split flare will land. They're going to bring they're not going to do it. It's quite as simple as that. But what you'd normally do would be, if there were no mines here, you'd flare to kind of this point here. Once the warriors get there, like I say, they'll split left, they'll split right, and then you can kind of babysit them through to their target using all of the GBE available. So now, whichever way they come, if they decide to take out 3 ERs by coming in left, coming in on the right side here, not only have they got to do the transition through all these boom mines onto this one, but then come through this minefield before kind of taking out this third ER. If they decide to go the other way and ignore the boom mines, then there's all this amped up defence that they're going to have to stand in direct fire of while they take out the 2 engine rooms, then walk through the minefield in order to get to that final ER. So what I'm going to do, I've got a chest to collect, so we're going to do a couple of hits just to collect that chest, and then I'm going to call it quits for this one. And the next video I do will hopefully be, I'll show you the tech tree again afterwards, but the next video I do will hopefully be once I've jumped to 5 ER. So let's join the queue for a hit. So looking at this, I think the most efficient way here will be to come up this left flank, flare these 2, rush over to this one. Obviously, one of the first things that we need to check is the stats. Now, this guy has got 50% building health, which means I can only bar 1, but he doesn't have defensive building damage, which means a warrior rush would be feasible if I had warriors. But I don't, so it's going to have to be a heavy rush. So it will be heavies dropped here, 3 artillery on this, flare to this, flare to that, barrage, sorry, 3 barrage on this, then an artillery. I need to get going because the time is running out. So there we go. That's all the troops down. Then we go 1, 2, 3 over here, back down here, and we'll flare to that first ER. Keeping an eye on the bar at the top. So I've still got 4 ER, so I didn't get lucky with the 3 barrage. So I know I've got to go up and kill that in a second. Flare that one over here. We'll kill that ER. Oh, no, it didn't go down. So I'm just going to wait for that. .316, 315. I haven't tested my base out yet, so I'm not quite sure what a good time is on it. We'll find out. Okay, not a great time. So let's see how they took my base down. So it was the Warrior Rush with Bullet. They have done. So they've put 2 barrage on each of the ERs. See what they're doing there. So they're clearing up and collecting the GBE. There's another barrage gone down on that first one, and the artillery, which has given them enough GBE to be able to. So they've clearly got their artillery at max there. Because they needed a lot less artillery. It's 3, the tick 3 artillery, it's 3 barrage and 3 artillery to take out an ER at 4 ER. Once you've maxed the artillery, I believe it's 3 and 1, 3 barrage, 1 artillery to take down an ER with the building health. Let's go in for another battle. We've got another 2 battles to do, so I can get my chest. Let's see how we get on with these 2. That's novel. What I'm going to do there is again heavy rush, flare. So they've got building health and building damage. So we're going to heavy rush to this ER. Then we're going to come across to this one, down to this one. I haven't got a great feeling about this particular hit. I've got a feeling I'm going to be done with warriors here, but let's find out. 1, 2, 3. Need to get back over here quick to flare that ER before the heavies go wandering off towards that centre cluster of defences. So that's 3 barrage and 1 artillery up there, and I've managed to pop it that time. A second flare on that to get the rest of the troops coming up to it. Flare over to this one. So that transitional flare was a lot better. It landed just as the ER popped, so they were on their way without wasting too much time. Hopefully this one will be the, oh no, premature. Right, so I've made a complete pig beer of that. Okay, so we're just worrying about collecting ERs. Kind of new to this whole attacking whilst giving commentary. Hopefully I'm going to get a bit better at it, otherwise we're just going to have to go back to silent attacks and add the commentary later. But hey, it's all entertaining, isn't it? So we know we've lost that. We don't even need to bother looking at the time. Yes, lost. And we'll claim that chest. Right, I'm going to do one more hit for you. I don't want to go too much further on this commentary whilst doing live hits, because like I say, it could end up costing me stars, costing me rank. But I'll give you guys one more laugh at my inability to talk and boom at the same time. If I get a match somewhere this week. Here we go. Okay, so the quickest path in the three closest ERs would be these three. Oh, this guy doesn't have building health. If you look up there at the stats, he's got the building damage but not the building health. That means I can BART out 2 and rush 2. So what I'm going to do here will be to land the troops down here, barrage, barrage, artillery, barrage, flare, let that one drop, flare to this one, then barrage and a final artillery onto that one there. Hopefully give us a time of around about 3:30. Barrage, barrage, artillery, barrage, artillery, flare, get that transitional flare going, get the barrage onto that one, check that that ER's gone down, that's gone, re-flare, throw the rest of the artillery at that one, 320. So it's not too bad. Should have got the bug there. When you're putting building health up against non-building health, your building health base should win every time. This guy with a time 312. So yeah, I mean that's to be expected. Let's just have a quick look at what he's done. So he's landed a split drop of warriors. This will be interesting. I'm BARTing out that ER. Okay, so we shot the machine guns down here. Knocked that ER out with BART. These guys, so he's got a few warriors taking that first ER out. He's going to try and clear round the circle. It looks like he's probably got enough there to do it. The shot there to just make sure that he gets those. Yeah, I mean he's kept enough to a bit slow over here. So just 3 warriors left this side, but he's used the GBE that he's got. You'll see here the effect that this minefield has or would have had on these guys wandering through it. Brilliant! Another server disconnect. That's a bit of a novelty. So I think probably we come back pretty quick. So I want to show you. I really want to show you a 4ER building health win. That's what I'd like to show you live. That's what I'd like to sign off with. So let's spin the dice again. See what we end up with. Take a look. So, oh, okay. Well, yeah. So this is just going to be some barrage and some artillery and what's going on? No, it's going to be a defeat. Okay. At this point, I think I'm going to have to reboot my iPad because that losing to a 3 ER is just utterly ridiculous. Yeah, that's just ludicrous. So I'm going to sign off here. Good luck, you guys. Hit me up in the comments, drop a like. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll be back fairly soon, I hope, for 5ER. Take care.